Welcome to the National External Diploma Program National Conference. I'm Pat Rickard. I'm the president of CASAS, and I wish that I was able to join you in person. But my colleagues, Jim Harrison, Melissa Dayton, and Linda Taylor are there with you at the conference. And this is a very exciting time in the history of the NEDP. And I want to share with you some of my excitement about where we're headed and look back at about where we've been. So over the next few minutes, I want to share with you what I feel is the solid philosophy and the proven effectiveness of the NEDP and what will remain, and some of the very exciting changes that will help bring NEDP into the 21st century. The NEDP has been proving opportunities for our adult learners for over 35 years. And the key elements that have proven effective in NEDP over the 35-year history are that we require 100% demonstration mastery of validated competencies. We focus on critical adult functional context learning environment. What's really important is our learners are self-directed. The NEDP promotes self-directed learning. All of the key elements of NEDP are what researchers have identified as effective adult learning theory over many, many years. The NEDP process has been recognized by the U.S. Department of Education as an exemplary program. Ajit Gopalakrishnan from the Connecticut Department of Education did a study just a few years back, and NEDP clients enrolled in the program persist in the program and complete the program at a higher rate than either GED candidates or adults that are enrolled in the adult credit program. So the NEDP is serving many of our adult learners who can't sit for traditional tests and don't have the time to sit through a credit high school diploma program. It's very important that the NEDP continue, that it grow, but it's also very important that we focus on the content and the technology to help our adults become effective and create career pathways for them into the 21st century. Let's reflect for a moment on when the NEDP was first developed and on in through the 90s. In the late 1970s, when the NEDP was first developed, there was no internet. There was no World Wide Web. We didn't have cell phones. We weren't texting each other. There were no ATMs. The jobs that were available, especially in manufacturing, many of them only required a high school diploma in order for an adult to earn a self-sustaining family wage. Today, that's no longer the case. A high school diploma alone is not going to be sufficient to provide a family-sustaining wage for our adult learners in the 21st century. So as the world has changed, as technology has changed, we need to update the NEDP, but make sure that we keep that critical foundation which has been effective. The philosophy, the foundation, the key elements of the NEDP, those remain the same. We need to address the 21st century needs. Some of those needs would be to create a seamless pathway to post-secondary training and education, to ensure mastery of the Common Core content standards, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, to provide a certification for a high school diploma that's very meaningful and respected in the 21st century, and to offer, in quote, a diploma plus with a workforce skills certification, and I'll talk more about that. And lastly, we need to use technology effectively in order to help the advisors, the assessors, the staff of the NEDP work more effectively with the clients and also to help the clients more easily navigate through the program, eliminating a lot of the unnecessary paperwork and tracking, and to automate that so that the assessors and advisors have more time to spend with the clients and not as much on the paperwork. Let's talk about each one of these points now in a little bit more depth. First of all, we want to focus on content standards that address the 21st century skills. We are planning to incorporate the college and career readiness standards for the Common Core State Standards. 46 states have adopted the Common Core State Standards. We have done an alignment with the revalidation of the NEDP competencies and align those competencies with the Common Core State Standards. The adults that demonstrate the competencies have indeed demonstrated key critical content standards that are recognized throughout the United States by 46 states and are aligned with those Common Core State Standards. This will really give a lot of credibility to the diploma and help with many states and state departments of education in getting recognition for the NEDP as a valid high school credential. In certifying the 21st century skills, I want to share a little bit more about the content standards. We have incorporated Norman Webb's depth of knowledge standard to all of the new development. And you will have a session in the content standards and explain a little bit more about the depth of knowledge. But let me just say that instead of just recalling information and sharing the recall of information, the depth of knowledge focuses more on using that knowledge for critical thinking, for problem solving within the context of the competencies. We need to focus on transitions. It's no longer adequate that we award the NEDP diploma and send our adults off to community colleges or jobs. We need to prepare our adults for that transition. We need to create pathways for our clients so that when they complete the NEDP, they know what their next steps are. They have a pathway into post-secondary education, or they have a plan for training, or they have a plan for applying for a job. If they have a job, they have a plan for what they need to do to increase their job skills, for promotions, for other job opportunities. So no longer is the NEDP an ending point. The NEDP is a beginning point. And we need to build into the NEDP these transitions, these pathways. The advisor's role could expand to provide more guidance to our NEDP clients on connections to local community colleges, connections to job training programs, connections to employers in the area. It's something that our director of NEDP, Jim Harrison, and others is going to engage you all in a discussion about the role of the advisor and how we can infuse into the NEDP more of a career pathway. And so Jim will be talking with you about setting up a national committee of field advisors and representatives from our NEDP programs to look at how we can strategically build into the NEDP program more pathways, more transitions. We want to ensure that our adults are able to secure 21st century jobs. And we are offering as an option the Workforce Skills Certification, and you will hear more about this at the conference. Currently, we are piloting it, but in addition to the NEDP credential, an adult will have the option of getting a Workforce Skills Certification credential that will help them with employers to get a good and meaningful job. I want to share with you, a few years back, I visited Sharon Muldowney's program in Connecticut, and Sharon showed me one of the completed student portfolios, and it was about 3 inches thick. And I thought at that time, wow, we really need to do something about this and use technology effectively to be able to monitor the progress of our clients, to track their progress across the mastery of the competencies, and to be able to more effectively have the portfolio review and not have to send out a 3-inch binder to someone to review. I want to lastly talk about the soft launch and the full launch and where we're headed in the future. Currently, we have health literacy, civic literacy, community participation, consumer awareness, and the 21st century workplace in a soft launch phase. And many of you are involved in the soft launch. This fall, we will be soft launching science, geography and history, cultural literacy, communications, media literacy, math and technology. We will also be field testing the workforce skills certification for what I mentioned earlier, the Diploma Plus. We also will be launching the new CASAS written prompt. We plan to do the full launch in January of 2013. Jim Harrison and our staff will talk a little bit more at the conference about the options for the soft launch, and you will have some choices about how you want to go from the soft launch to the full launch with your program. We want to partner with you to ensure that you have the support needed to implement the NEDP effectively and provide your clients with a valuable credential that helps their transition to post-secondary education. Good luck with the conference, and I'd love to hear from you as to how the soft launch is going and the full launch. Thank you so much, and good luck.